Hello, my people. Good day to you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time zone you're listening to this, thank you for tuning in every single day to listen to me on Daily Mind Shift. My name is Michael Ujola from Mindset Transformation Africa. And on today's episode, I want to talk about how our talents affect our relationships, all right? Let me just anchor today's episode on this statement. Your talent will endure hardship where there is lack of relationship. So, be relatable. Your talent will endure hardship where there is lack of relationship. So, be relatable. I'm going to talk out of personal experience because this wisdom that I'm sharing with you is coming from a place of experience. My talents have endured unnecessary hardship where there was lack of relationship because I was not relatable. So I said, okay, let me bring the wisdom I've learned over the couple of years that I've been at work and that I've lived my life to bear today. So let us just go into the mind shifts of today. It is one of those uncomfortable truths that most people do not want to say out loud, but you can be extremely talented and still be terribly limited if you lack the human skill of being relatable. So today we're going to talk about your talent enduring hardship where there is lack of relationship. Let that settle in for a while. Some people don't burn out because they lack the ability. They burn out because they isolated their ability. They did not know how to connect with people, how to see other people, how to let other people even see them. So the gift kept going, but without support, without connection, without trust, without a circle, and after a while it collapsed under its own brilliance. Let's just go break this down a little bit. It is no secret that talent opens doors, all right? But so does your charm, your humility, so does knowing how to treat people. Those things also open doors. I've seen it. The gifted person gets hired first, but the kind person stays longer. The brilliant voice gets the microphone, but the grounded soul gets the room to listen to them. The genius gets the contract, but the person who is easy to work with gets called back. Why? Because people remember how you made them feel longer than they remember what you said or did. Management have told me before that, Mike, we would have given you this position, but people say they don't like working with you. That is some 5-6 years ago. Do you understand me? And that is still haunting. I will tell you for free, it's still haunting. See, you can out-sing everybody. You can outright everybody. You can outperform everybody. But if people don't feel safe around you, they won't build with you. Believe me when I'm telling you this is coming from a personal experience. You will be a lightning bolt with no cloud to belong to. Let's just get this right out into the open, all right? Talent is not a license to be emotionally unavailable. Talent is not an excuse to be self-absorbed. Talent is not a hall pass for poor people's skills. You can be the most productive person in the room and still leave everyone else feeling like they are just tools to your success. That is when hardship starts to show up. Because when you fail, and at some point every one of us will fail in one thing or another, people won't carry you through your storm if they never felt like you are walking with them in their own storm. When there is no relationship, there is no cushion. All right, there is no support, no loyalty, no backup, no benefit of doubt. So, even though your gift is still intact, the environment around you becomes harder, colder, and less forgiving. Have you ever listened to someone talk and think, wow, they're smart, but you don't feel anything, even after all they've said and done? Now, compare that with the person who speaks to you and makes you say, wait, they get me, they understand me, they really get me. Same message, different impact. That is the difference between being impressive and being impactful. See, impressing people may get applause, but being relatable gets access. Being vulnerable gets trust. Being human gets loyalty. Nobody grows in an environment where everyone is trying to prove something, but people thrive in spaces where everyone is trying to connect with other people. Relatability doesn't mean being perfect. It means being honest enough to be seen as real. See, if you're the kind of person who hides behind your gift, listen closely. You may think it is safer to stay private. You keep your struggles to yourself, to never admit you need help, to always show up as polished, as often. But that mindset is draining you more than you realize. It costs you relationships. It costs you rest. It costs you real support. And eventually, it can cost you everything, because no one can carry a vision alone. Isolation is expensive. It fools you into thinking you are protecting yourself, but what you are actually doing is cutting yourself off from the one thing that could ease your load, and that is your community. See, connection is not weakness, it is wisdom. Somewhere along the way, many of us bought into the lie that being relatable makes you less powerful. That if people get too close, they will see your flaws. That if you are too open, they will take advantage of you. That if you let down the act, you will lose the respect. But here is what I've learned over time. People respect consistency more than perfection. People lean into transparency more than invincibility. People follow leaders who bleed and lead. Let them see your strength, yes, but let them also see your humanity. It is not weakness, it is wisdom. Because when people feel seen by you, they are more willing to stand with you. See, your journey doesn't just qualify you to lead. It qualifies you to relate. That time that you failed, that is someone's current battle. That moment that you doubted yourself, someone else is in that space today. That mistake you made and recovered from, that could be someone else's breakthrough, if you are willing to be honest about it. See, you don't always have to preach. You just need to be present. You don't always need a platform. You just need to be real. Sometimes the greatest ministry is not in a mic. It is in a moment of saying, yeah, I've been there. Your past struggle might not be your favorite story, but it could be someone else's survivor guide. Let's talk a little bit about the trap of being the genius in the room, all right? Sometimes we start to let our skill isolate us. We start thinking, they don't understand me, they are not at my level, they cannot contribute to what I'm building. That mindset may feel like confidence, but it is really pride wearing cologne. You're not too smart to connect. You're not too successful to check on someone. You're not too anointed to listen. You're not too experienced to learn. Arrogance creates distance. Authenticity builds bridges. And if your gift is really that good, it shouldn't make you unreachable. It should make you responsible. See, and you need to know also that collaboration requires compatibility, not just only capability, but compatibility. That's what I want to tell you. Let me ask you this. Would you rather work with someone who is excellent but exhausting, or someone who is skilled, teachable, and kind? Exactly, you will choose the second option. In life, people choose who they want to build with based on energy, not just excellence. Being relatable means you leave space for other people to breathe around you, to bring their ideas, to feel like they matter in the process. You might be the best, but if you are not easy to build with, you will wear your team out. See, don't just be good at your role. Be good in the room. It is important for you to pursue emotional intelligence because it outlasts raw intelligence. Yes, we live in a world that celebrates IQ. But relationships are built on EQ. Can you read the room? Can you handle feedback without breaking down? Can you admit when you're wrong? Can you lead without controlling? These are not soft skills. They are survival skills for longevity, for leadership, and for life. Relatability is rooted in empathy, in awareness, in humility, in adjusting your strength to make space for someone else's experience. See, your intellect may win the argument, but your emotional intelligence will win people's trust. So, as you go today, today's episode is all about is more than communication. It's about character. It is a reminder that the path to sustainable success is not paved with talent alone. It is paved with trust. And trust comes from being relatable. So check yourself today. Are you so focused on being admired that you've forgotten how to be accessible? Are you so in love with your performance that you've lost your people? Let your talent speak, but let your heart